Good morning, everyone. I hope that everyone had a wonderful weekend. Uh, I'm not going to be on here long this morning. My eyes are kind of bothering me this morning, but got to put that medication in there. Anyways, I just wanted to briefly come on. Me and my sister were having a conversation yesterday about giving, and I wanted to come on and just kind of share that with you because in that conversation, it just brought to my mind that the the importance of being a giver. And sometimes when you talk about giving, people always relate it to money. People always relate it to money. But look at other things that you give that are so valuable in life. If you are a giver, you can look back over your own life. Some people are not givers. Um, but when you are a giver, you can look back over your own life and see how you have just evaluate how you have just over the years been a giver. So, in speaking about that, we came up, well, didn't come up with, we thought about a situation during the time when her youngest granddaughter was in the hospital. And she has a disease that would cause her to be in the hospital a lot. And we were going up and down that road, she was, and one day I rode with her. And so on our way back, we stopped off to get some food. Well, fast forward, a lady was there at the restaurant and she basically was asking another set of ladies at another table for women. She wasn't asking them, she was telling them that she was hungry. And they among themselves were saying basically they couldn't do that. They couldn't give her something to eat. You in a restaurant, but my sister had ordered our food, and so she took one of the plates that she had ordered and gave it to the lady. And then the young lady that was behind the counter came out and gave her something to drink. Here's my thing on that giving. You don't never know, and I shared this with my sister. You don't never know when God gonna show his face through another human being. Sometimes you sitting there anywhere. You can be anywhere. You don't have to be sitting somewhere. You can just be somewhere doing something, taking care of some business, in the grocery line, and someone doesn't have enough money to pay for their groceries. At that time, God is speaking to you. See, everything that God sends to you is not for you. Sometimes he have to send a blessing through you to get it to somebody else. And as I think about the world what we're living in today, people within society have become so selfish and don't want to give. We can sit in our homes and know that somebody else, not far from us, it don't have to be a family member, it can be a friend, it can be a stranger. We watching people suffer, and we won't even stop long enough to ask them, can I be of any help to you? That there is giving of your time. That's something, when you give that away, you can't get it back. And I was sharing with my sister, see, the problem with many people is that they give to people that they know can give them something back. You're not really giving. When you give to someone who absolutely doesn't have something that they really need, like food, like shelter, like clothing, that's giving. When you give time, just the time alone is the greatest gift in the world. Because once you give away your time, you can't get that back. You can't get that back. My late husband used to say that all the time. The greatest gift in the world is time. That's the greatest gift you're going to ever give away, because you can't get that back. Not only that, we were out of town in Florida one year, and we were in the store, myself and my late husband, and the lady was at the counter. And she had some food, but it was mostly like something that you would feed a cat or a puppy or someone. But it wasn't, most of it was that. And she had a loaf of bread and looked like some tuna fish. And let me tell you something. God will show you when it's time for you to give. When it's time for you to open up your mouth. When it's time for you to step in. See, we so busy just making sure our needs are met. And long as our needs are met, and long as the people that we love don't need nothing, we good. But God frowns at that, because he shows up in different people in different situations. And you're supposed to, your heart should be pricked. You know, we say, well, I'm a Christian. Well, I love the Lord. Well, you know, all that claiming that we do. And in our hearts, we really believe that we are. But we don't look like our picture. We one picture in society, in the face of people. We're picture of goodness. Excuse me, y'all. My eyes is irritated. On social media. But in real life, we don't look like our picture. Going back to what I was talking about, the situation in Florida. And my husband said, wait a minute. My late husband, he said, wait a minute. He told the cashier, we'll pay for that. We will pay for that. And he did. And not only paid for that, he gave her $50. She cried. Let me tell you something. You never know how deep somebody is hurting. You never know. Sometimes people keep that pain on the inside because so many other people have beat them down so bad. So they just keep their pain on the inside. They become embarrassed and afraid. And you know who made them feel that way? Those of us who have become so hard-hearted that we criticize because we look at the person and we begin to judge them rather than looking at the situation on how we can help them. And at that very moment, you've passed up an opportunity that God put before you to help somebody. And you can never, ever forget. My hairdresser, who's been my hairdresser for years, shared this with me, and it is so true. And I really live by this as well. You never forget people that have been good to you. I don't care how you try. You will never forget those people that's been good to you, that gave to you, that looked out for you when you didn't have, when you did not have. And God putting people right there around us each and every day that we supposed to be giving to and helping. See, because you can't beat God giving no matter how hard you try. You can't beat him giving. But see, when selfishness has control of your life, you will never, ever, ever be able to give. Let me say that again, because there's too many people in this world who are just selfish. And you got some of them people in your life, some of them in your family, some of them your friends, just some of the people you work around, some people you just run into, they selfish. And you ought to be a cheerful giver. Give of your talents. Some of us got talents and we never ever give of our talents. It's some things that you can do. And somebody else need that and you won't even help them. Because you would rather see that person fail than to jump in there and help them. It's so sad, but it is happening. But we have learned, we've mastered how to turn our backs on the needy. Oh yeah, we mastered that. That's from Washington, D.C. on down. We put people in positions to make decisions, and they won't even look out for you. They won't even do nothing that's going to help you. You can't even get them to pass laws that the majority and policy that the majority of Americans need. That's selfish. Because the most of them up there, if they're not already millionaires, they're on their way to become millionaires. And people, selfish people, continue to vote these people in office. Just keep them there. I know that they hurting people, but I got what I need, so I don't care. They're still talking about giving. Look here. God ain't trying to hit nobody, but he ain't trying to miss nobody either. And he keeps showing us how selfish this world is. And it's on all levels. It's on the federal, the local, the state. It's all in family units. We've just let dysfunction come in and just take over our family units. And one part, just only one part of it, is the lack of giving. How you see one family member going astray. You don't mind if that family member going astray, but you got this other protected group that you want to make sure that is okay in the family. You want to make sure that they make it. It's still all about giving. It's still all about giving, because maybe that family member that's struggling just need a little help. Just need some words of encouragement, need some words of inspiration, need some words of hope. But we don't want to give that particular family member anything. Giving is at a wider spectrum than what you care to realize. And I'm going to tell you something. On this side, you'll get away with it, because people on this side, they'll join you in that. They'll join you in criticizing somebody in need. They'll join you in tearing down people that's in need. They'll join you in keeping people from accessing things that they really need. People will join you in that selfishness. But guess what? God won't. And even if you don't pay for it yourself, somebody in that family unit is going to pay for it. Somebody's going to pay for it. Somebody's going to give an account. It will be dealt with. My question is why we can't be givers. What's so hard about giving? Now, don't get me wrong. Some people will take advantage, but God will show you that too. Don't worry about that. I got that. Can't you hear God saying that? Now, don't you worry about that. I got that. I tell people this story all the time about how when I was younger and my daughter was young and I wasn't making a whole lot of money. And my hairdresser, I tell this all the time, how she still, even though I didn't have the money to pay to get my hair done, she reached out to me and told me not to do that. I never forgot that. I'll never forget that. I share that story. I've shared it on various talks that I've done. I used to do a lot of public speaking before all of this pandemic happened. But let me tell you something. It might not mean much to somebody else, but it meant a lot to me. And even until this day, when somebody else is willing to take care of your need, to know you got to go out there and deal with the public, and you don't have the money to pay them, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I was working. You know how they talk about the working poor? That was me, the working poor. That was me. I don't have to look at TV to hear them say that. That was me. I was the working poor. I was working, but I ain't have enough to make sure that everything that needed to get done got done. I had to pick and choose. You know how you rob Peter to pay Paul? Y'all know about that. You've been there. See, we get a little bit, and then what we do is we shut the world out as if we never, oh, I'm okay now. I don't need to hear nothing nobody else got to say. That don't pertain to me. I'm good now. But let me tell you something. Everything that goes up got to come down. Nobody stays on the top all the time. Look at your celebrities. There's a time to be celebrated, and there's a time when you're going to come down that there be people that used to recognize you don't recognize you no more. Oh, they hear your music. Oh, they see you on different movies, and then that there is lacking as well because this pandemic knocked all that out. And they scrambling too, trying to get gigs to keep them millions coming. That you and I mean, people pay lots of money to go see these people sing the same old songs, put a little different twist to it, so that they can go out and brag and talk about what they've done and where they've been. How many tickets you bought to somebody else that wanted to go, and you didn't even open up your heart to see if somebody wanted to go? No, you stuck your hands in your pocket and you said, no, if they ain't got to go, that's their problem. Well, guess what? Now look at you. These artists are struggling too. Because you know what God let us all know? I give it and I take it away. I give it and I'll take it away. And see, that's why you never get comfortable. Because anything that God gives you, he can take it away. Especially if you're being selfish with it. Especially if you're using that to look down your nose. I don't know of nothing that I have that I can't help somebody else. I just don't know. That I don't have so much that I just have to keep it and can't help somebody else. And you remember when I was telling y'all earlier about the lady that when we was in that line in Florida, and my husband paid for the food, my late husband paid for the food. I don't know who was eating what, okay? That's not my concern. When he gave her that, he said, ma'am, this for you. And he put that money in her hand. She asked the lady, can I leave my bags here? She got that basket and went to go make groceries. Let me tell you something. This morning, right now, if we don't start giving, if we don't start when God pricks our heart to do something for somebody, we're going to be in worse shape than we already in America. Because I don't care how many people pat you on the back and tell you doing a good thing. Let me tell you something. If God ain't pleased with it, it don't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. If God not pleased with it, it doesn't matter what you do. We, in our hearts, we have, not everybody, so many of us have hardened our heart. When the last time you asked somebody what they needed? When the last time you saw a need and you just ignored it? But you talk about the Lord every day. You talk about how good God been to you, how good God been to your family, how good God this, that. You know how you do. But God works through human agency. And I was telling my sister on yesterday, see, those 4 women, see, we'll never see them again. But God gonna deal with them. Because God knew he had given them what that lady needed. God had given it to them, and they ignored it because they decided to judge her instead of meeting her in her circumstances. And let me tell you something. You might not flood some of them tears today, but it's coming. But it's coming. See, I want to see everybody make it. I want to see everybody be okay. I don't want to see people struggling. Something that my late husband used to always say, you only as good as your neighbor. If you in your house and you got a meal, but your neighbor over there with children and they don't know how she gonna feed them children, and you not gonna even try to help, and God showed you, he laid that on your heart. He laid it on your heart. You don't even know why you giving that person that money. You just know that God put that in your mind to go do that. Because he'll never, when you truly serve him, see, we think, this is us, we think just by saying, I'm a Christian, saying, I live by the word of God, saying, well, God really bless my family. You know the things people say. Come on now, I don't have to tell you. You know the things people say because you said some of them yourself. But you ain't never been out there to the highways and the hedges. You ain't been out there. You haven't helped that person that's sitting down on the sidewalk because you was busy criticizing him. You give him $2. It ain't your business what he gonna do with them $2, but you know that purpose that you gave it to him or her. All I'm saying this morning, and I'm glad that my sister called me about that on yesterday, on giving. Because it really made me think in my mind, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? You can't always be on the receiving end. You're not going to always be on the receiving end. Sometimes God going to put you on the giving end. Because, listen, if you're a giver, if you're able to give, that means God blessed you. If you're in a position to give, you need to do that because God blessed you. That's not a bad thing. That's a blessing. And as I told my sister, see, you never give nothing away that God didn't intend for you to give away. And God will not keep giving you things. He won't send blessings to you if he can't get blessings through you. Because what you gave away, that's just the overflow. That's just the overflow. That didn't take nothing away from you. Because if you just had enough, if he know you just got enough, he's not going to put that on your heart to give that away because you just got enough. But you know what? I don't believe that God just give us just enough. I believe he give all of us some overflow. Because giving comes in more than one form. Your time, your money, your talents, it comes in more than one form. It's not always money. Sometimes people just need somebody to listen to them. Sometimes people just need you to give a prayer. Say a prayer. It's not always money. Sometimes people just need a listening ear. That's all. And this is why we are losing one generation after another. Because we don't even give of our time. We don't even listen to nobody. We so busy, we don't even listen to nobody. We don't even check in to see how somebody else is doing. See, just because people telling you all right don't mean that they all right. You got to give of your time. Even if it's just a minute, just to call somebody to see how they doing. It's just, and you got to be a cheerful giver. You got to be a cheerful giver. You cannot be, you cannot be a person who give grudgingly. You got to be, God wants you to be a cheerful giver. Keep that in mind. And that's all I had for this morning. Just being a giver. That's my prayer. That's my prayer for this world as a whole, that we get back to giving and do it with an open heart, to do it out of love and care and concern for somebody. Just do it. And you know what? I believe once we do that, God will start bringing things back together for us, for this world as a whole. Because right now, we just too selfish. We are absolutely too selfish. And God frowns on that. He really does. He frowns on that. All right, that's what I had to birth out this morning. But listen, before I get off, I want to remind y'all of the podcast on Wednesday night. It's going to be with Mr. Doc Amy. And he's going to be, I got to get that subject title again. It's on my Facebook page. But he's going to be coming on and talking to us. I'll be interviewing him on Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. I believe that if you have a lot of young people in your home, young men, young women, he's going to really be hitting really hard on that. He's going to share a little bit of his life and as he came through and where he's at now in life, which is amazing. It's amazing how much, he's grown over time, but he's not afraid. He's also an author. He wrote a book. So he's not afraid to share his past as well as the future, so we can reach out and help our youth. So and I don't know what else he's going to talk about. I really don't. It's going to be an amazing interview, and I want you to tune in if you can. Go to my YouTube channel, Electra James Inspirational Talks on YouTube, and it'll bring up my channel. You can subscribe if you like, or you could just go on there and look at some of the past interviews. On last week, my technical director, Jacqueline Salver, who also has a podcast channel, Jacqueline's Life Well Lived, come on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock p.m. Hers is on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock p.m. and mine is on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. I invite you to both. We put a lot of time into preparing for these podcasts to happen and to take place, and to just offer them as a form of getting information out there. She shares a wealth of information with viewers. She is an author of 20 plus books. She's done a lot of work. She's also a counselor. She's done a lot of work and continues to do a lot of work. And me, on my podcast, I bring people in to tell their stories, give them a platform to come on and tell their stories. And, when God gave me this vision to prepare a place that everyday people can come on and share their stories, because nobody gets to share their stories in life with the world but celebrities. So God gave me this platform, this vision for this platform to let everyday people come on and share their stories on Electra James Inspirational Talks. So anyways, I just wanted to remind you all of that. I'm going to remind you all again on tomorrow regarding Mr. Doc Amy, coming on for that amazing interview. I'm just excited about it. I'm always excited about these interviews that come up. And I tell you what, marketing these things and pulling everything together, that takes time when you don't have a marketing person. So, and getting people to come on to do these interviews. But you know, the greatest thing of all is the people. Those that come on and allow me to do interviews with them as they share their stories with the world. And you know what? On last week, Miss Nelson, that's with the Right program, and my technical director actually conducted that interview on last week because she was the one that did all that footwork to get Miss Nelson on to come on to talk about the work that they did in the Congo, that they're still doing in the Congo in order to combat human trafficking. So get a chance, go out there and look at that interview that took place on last week. So anyways, I'm going to get off of here. You all have a wonderful day. I will see you all tomorrow morning. And don't forget, be a giver. Be a giver. It's nothing wrong with it. It's a reward. And you know what? I feel so good when I give. And I know many of you do too. All right? So y'all have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and get finished getting ready for work. Okay. Bye-bye.